Wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa is here as well. Donnell, you want to step to the mic?
That's the only chair y'all.
We can pull up that chair. Do you want that chair?
No, I'll sit right here.
We'll pull up that chair. You want us to pull up the couch? Okay.
These are for you too.
Bought you some flowers.
I don't accept gifts.
Donnell, I was very concerned about you.
I was very concerned about you. I mean, we talking concerns. Let's talk concerns.
I was concerned.
Congratulations on your podcast.
Thank you. The latest with Lauren LaRosa dropping on March 31st. Period.
Good morning, Black Queen.
Oh, now I'm a queen.
You always been a queen, bitch. I mean, queen. Queen. You always been a queen. Good morning. It's a queen missing today.
You won't be booed in here. It's okay.
I don't understand what that means. I don't get booed. Sometimes it might be a situation where there's a misunderstanding, but I don't get booed. You don't know a person that knows.
What happened?
What happened with what?
Boo! So we were watching something online, and it was a roast.
They was coming for you.
And they were booing you. Every time you spoke, they booed you.
Right.
What happened, Donnell?
All right, this is I don't really like to I really wanted to start this interview in a positive note. As much as I can't stand y'all in the absence of somebody. Where's he? He's at a strip club dropping like it's hot somewhere. There was a very viral video that went down and looked very, very suspect.
It was my video.
It was your video. And it was someone that was dropping like hot in a velour sweatsuit. One of the most ratchet things you can do as a human. Okay, back to your question. I was, a lot of people don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you were doing a roast. You were hosting a roast. It was
I
you.
wasn't hosting a roast.
That's what I was explaining.
Were you judging? What were you doing there?
First off, I was in Los Angeles, California, and I had the opportunity to meet with somebody that regard in the highest manner. That I came in here and I've sung the "I Lose Control" song for the longest time, probably for the last couple of years. I've been using it as an intro
Teddy Swims,
song.
correct?
Teddy Swim. So I had the opportunity. Actually, we were like connected through DM and that sounds sketchy as shit. We were connected through social media, and I had the opportunity to meet him in person. Hung out with him, and that turned. What are you doing?
I just, I like exclusives. I just want people to see you after the booing situation, and I can confirm that you're good.
So, I had a chance to hang out with Teddy Swim, and we had some. That night we had some adult beverages.
You were drinking liquor.
We were drinking liquor, a lot of it. And what I learned that night was that you can't go toe for toe doing shots with Teddy Swims or Lauren. I don't know if you ever drank with her.
I was about to ask you, do you want, because you know how we, come on, we've been having a good time.
No. According to the streets there, I need to slow down on my drinking.
I think so.
I didn't ask for your opinion.
Okay.
Mr. Perfect. Went to a comedy roast hosted by Jeff Ross and the Negro.
After the shots.
Okay. And it was a platform where comics go on stage and they do their 3 or 4 minutes worth of roasting, and then you as a guest host or not a host, a guest judge, you critique those people on what you thought their comedy meant,
right?
Or in that moment,
correct.
And I didn't have a lot of favorable things to say about them. To which the Negro on the show encouraged the audience whenever I spoke to boo me. So to your point of a boo.
He told me to do it. You said the Negro said,
how long are we going to do this?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
sorry.
I'm not doing it. And it was a situation. It was a misunderstanding. They booed me, but it wasn't like a boo.
No, they booed you. Okay. It was a bunch of boos.
It wasn't a boo.
No, it was a boo.
It wasn't a boo like that. You got different boos. You got the fuck out of here boo. Your shit is corny boo. Then you got a boo that when people when they encourage someone to do that, and that's what happened that night. And
no, they booed you. They booed you a lot. Every time you spoke, you got on stage, they booed you. How did it make you feel?
It didn't
You
make
too
me feel
old to
anything.
be getting booed.
No, I'm too funny to be getting booed.
That too.
No,
because you actually are, like I told you, like when I saw you at Radio City Music Hall, I was like, I've seen you before, and I was like, you're funny.
You go cutting people off again.
Period.
Jesus Christ.
I would say you're going to go on Instagram Live, but they're going to be in the comments and not
care.
care.
Cutting people off again. Oh, man, I see what they mean now.
All right, now.
Jesus Christ. Do we raise our hand? Can we get a bail or something in there? God damn, order in the court. There's a lot of people missing in here today.
That's why you dress like that?
What?
You came in here thinking this was court?
No, I feel like an adult today.
Can I ask you a real question? Donnell Rawlings is here,
Yes.
and if you haven't seen the video, yes, he was booed, and the host of the show told him every time he spoke to boo him. I thought it was hilarious because Donnell.
Of course you are. You're a negative person. Of course you are.
But I actually like you. But do you think
I'm not concerned about you liking me, Evie.
All right.
Okay.
Fine. But seriously, do you think people take you serious enough? Like, do you feel like they play with you too much? Because I feel like they wouldn't play with certain comics like that, but they feel like they play with you all the time like that.
Yeah, they play too much. My whole life played too much. My whole life people thought I played too much. When I was in Korea, they didn't know how to say this nigga played too much in Korean, so they would say too much of gameplay. And that's me. I'm a gameplay motherfucker. I'm in the right position. They used to say that all the time. You're too much of gameplay. Every day you why all the time. I'm not being funny. That's how the Koreans talk. Why you every day?
Yeah.
They just get upset with me. Rawlings, you every day. You all the time bullshit. All the time. Shikara, Ip Tak Cha. If you don't speak Korean, now shut up and be quiet.
But why do they play with
Ip Tak
you?
Cha. Shikara.
But why do they play with you? Like, they don't play with Kev, they don't play with Duval, they don't play with any of the comedians that's on this wall, but they play with you all the time. It's like they almost try to take the fact that you are famous, the fact that you are successful, the fact that you are funny, and try to downplay it all the time. Why do you think that is?
You want to know the real answer to that?
Please.
Because of you, motherfucker.
What do you mean?
You and this platform, that's why.
Why?
Because y'all play too much. Y'all started with booty tricks. Y'all started with black big asses. And
Can I cut you off?
Can you cut me off?
It didn't start with the booty tricks.
It wouldn't be you. It would not be you.
It didn't start with the booty tricks. It started when you tried to come here and it was something like with your dad or the book. Remember the moment when Charlamagne's laughing at him?
Yes, that's when he wrote a book about his dad.
Yeah, it was like something.
First of all, you probably was in high school when I first started doing this show. Okay. So your facts are incorrect. That's not how it started.
Well,
the first time
one that I'm cutting you off again.
Okay.
No. You okay?
I'm okay, yeah.
All right, I'm just checking on you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The one that I most know of is the moment with your dad in the book, and I felt bad for you in that moment too.
I felt bad for myself in that moment. It was very, very awkward. He had a good time with that, you know what I'm saying? When he speaks about his dad or whatever, I'm like, oh, that's so good. The fact that his father was a popo and in the military, our kind of paths were parallel. So I support him in a relationship he has with his father. Now, when I wanted to get really serious and talk about some childhood trauma in my life, they thought it was a joke. So back to your question, how did it start? And this to answer your question, you motherfucker, the lack of respect that you guys have had. But I've mustered through it. I'm a better person.
So you think because you come up here and play with us, you think people play with you?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a part of it. Yeah.
You seriously think that?
I answered the question once.
Yeah, but you be joking.
So you're going to just keep asking me questions until you get the answer that you want?
That's what I do.
I see what they be saying now.
So how do we change this narrative, Donnell? Because I don't like the fact. I mean, you know what it is. You know when you're dating somebody and you're like, I could argue with her, but nobody else can. I feel like that with us. Like, we can make fun of you, but the world shouldn't be able to make fun of you. But like, I feel like they take your comedy lightly, but we don't take your comedy lightly.
Nobody takes my comedy lightly.
We laugh.
There's
with
only
you.
a couple of people that take my comedy lightly, and I don't care about that. But nobody takes me lightly. It's just that, and I will say, whenever I go, the first thing they say is, "Why you let the Breakfast Club fuck with me like that?" I said, "I don't let them fuck with me.
Fuck with you.
Fuck with, yeah, like the prankster. They're like, they don't.
I didn't interrupt that one.
Man, I said so many goddamn prayers before I came up here today, man. I didn't come here for that, Envy.
I'm trying to talk to you because I really want to get your feelings and your expressions out there because I don't like how people play with you. The booing thing is funny. It's hilarious. I thought it was funny.
There's nothing funny about getting booed. It's the most traumatic thing you could deal with as a comedian, especially when it's because you weren't funny. The situation I had wasn't because I wasn't funny. It was a setup. That's what it was.
But that's I didn't like watching it because I was like, okay, maybe this is what they do over there, but like I felt like it was a lack of respect, and I don't like that.
I mean, it was I wouldn't say it was a misunderstanding.
There's no tricks going on today. I promise you. It's no tricks. There's no tricks, I promise you.
What the fuck is going on?
He's traumatized. The door opened up. He stopped. He's scared. He's
and it started right here. I don't know what.
Bro, nothing is going on today. I swear. There's no penis pens. There's nothing. We're just having a real conversation.
Listen, things happen.
Mocha Menace is not here today.
I noticed that. I feel so much better. Things happen. As a comedian, things happen. And then at the end of the day, is what you do with those things that have happened. That incident I had with Jeff Ross and that roast battle, there's a lot of things that could have happened that I could have switched the situation. I was lit. I'm not going to lie about that. But at the end of the day, it's what when things happen, it's like they always say, can you turn lemon into lemonade? So they tried to tag me with Mr. Crash Out. I am a crash out motherfucker. And it's because of people and relationships that I have with people like yourself, like with her. She's absent today.
He.
Queen.
Oh, Charlamagne.
Yeah.
Mocha Business.
Yeah.
For the girls.
What was that?
So the video you referenced when Charlamagne was dropping it like it's hot.
Yeah.
And giving all ballroom. In the ballroom, we call her Mocha Menace.
Oh, Mocha Menace. What's up, Mocha Menace?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like it was like I practiced that. Like he practiced that at home, and he finally had the platform to drop it for everybody.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But back to what I was saying. So how do you change that narrative? Because I feel like you let people trick you out of your position, right? It started with when the comedian called you mild, and you was upset about that, and you crashed out about that. Then with the booing, you crashed out about that. But
because it's not true, son. There is nothing that's mild about me after.
There's nobody. I swear,
There's nothing
nobody
that's
coming in the door.
happening.
As soon as the door closes, you get scared.
Yo, the reason why, because there's no facts to make that make sense. After 30 years doing comedy, I've never, ever once heard anybody call me mild. So it's like this. It's like an assassination of somebody's character. When you put something out there and it's not true, you can be upset about it. I have to, and I'm thinking about getting a therapist. I have to learn how to deal with stuff like that and not take it so personal. But there's a couple of words, there's N-words in comedy that when you say it, people get offended about. Corny and whack. Those two words, it's almost like fighting words in comedy. And it's not I'm not a person that had a career where I go back and forth. 1 year he's funny, 1 year he's not, or that was okay. I've been tearing up stages forever. And that's not just me saying it, it's anybody that come on, any comic that come on this platform would agree that I'm a funny motherfucker. So when you put that out there, I take offense to it, but I shouldn't take it that serious. And usually it's people like that. The ones that talk the most shit are the ones that doing the least shit in this business.
Right, but Charlamagne always says nobody cares about the truth and the lie is more entertaining. But when you allow it and you crash out about it and it shows people you bother you, people are going to keep attacking that same thing over and over and over again. I mean, you allow them to do it.
I don't allow them to do anything. You're a perfect example of that because you fucking with me now.
What? I'm asking you questions. Like, I'm not joking you. I'm asking you questions.
I do not trust your face.
You don't, but
I don't.
But I'm asking you questions.
I don't trust you.
Why?
You could go 8 episodes and answer the question. Why, motherfucker? It's counted. You put Donnell Ross Breakfast Club, everything starts off with a goddamn joke. So I don't trust you, and I have my guards up.
Are you really going to do therapy? Like, is that a real thing?
I think I possibly might need therapy.
Because just in life you have some like things you need to figure out, or because the way like you're not like you don't like the responses you're getting to your comedy?
No, it's a relationship that I have with certain people.
Okay,
but I know you
like
part of
like
it though.
Me?
You came up here and you bought
we
us
barely
baby
know
oil.
each other. Yeah,
you bought us baby. Like you're part of the joke. Like it's not like we just crack on you. You crack on us.
When everything
I know by the end of this conversation there's gonna be a real estate joke. I know that.
I don't do real estate jokes no more. You don't do real estate no more, right?
See?
That's not a joke. That's a
See?
do
You've
you
been
still
cracking
do real
jokes on me
estate?
this whole time.
Do you still follow certain people on your Instagram page? It's not a real estate joke. It's real. You don't do real estate.
I do.
Okay, I didn't know. It's not as promoted as it used to be.
See?
That's not a joke.
But I know I'm gonna get that from you, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me.
Well, maybe we're two different people, Envy.
Mm-hmm. Why you turn around?
Because I just don't feel comfortable with this situation. That's why. Yeah.
So what's next for you when it comes to comedy? Because it seems like
performing at City Winery in New York this weekend.
It seems like you're always trying to prove yourself.
I'm not trying to prove myself. That's next for me in comedy. Another thing that's next for me, I have this thing that I do called Donnell Land, and it's something similar to what you do in regard to providing something for the community. I do this 5 days in Yellow Springs, Ohio, which consists of a lot of activities for the family. We do canoeing, kayaking, sound bath, nature walk, Sunday fun day, celebrity kickball game, Streets versus the Creeks. And then it comes to a climax on Monday, Memorial Day Monday, with a river run that we've had at least 400 people participate in that. And that's happening again this year, and that's the weekend of Memorial Day. That's what Donnell's doing.
I love that.
Yeah.
So with Dave Chappelle, your close friend,
yeah.
What does he tell you when you go through a lot of the stuff that you go through? Because, I mean, you put out a special, and I thought the special was hilarious.
He tell me don't engage.
But you do. So you don't listen to your friend that's filthy rich, that's been doing it.
I don't listen to a lot of people, and that's why a lot of situations I get in, because so many situations I've been in, it could have been like, why did you respond to that? I don't care how anybody wants to say. it's the hardest thing to do is not to respond to negativity. And I know, and whenever I sit down and talk to therapists, the first thing they're going to do is tell me, Donnell, don't read the comments, to which I'm going to read each and every one of those comments.
You also be in the comments, too.
You in the comments, too.
Yeah, but
every other page I go.
No.
Every other, yes, you on everybody.
Not every other. Are you calling me a hoe?
I didn't say that. I just I'm not calling you a hoe. I'm just saying you social media hoe. Is that the same? I didn't mean like a ho-ho. I didn't mean like a ho-ho. But like, you for the tweets.
I'm for the tweets.
You're for the tweets.
But
it's okay.
But even with you, right?
It's hard. It's
but there's so many comedians. There's so many comedians. Like you look at Gary Owen.
Yes.
Shut up! Don't say nothing because you get in trouble.
Right.
You look at Ryan Davis. You look at all these comedians that want Netflix specials that Netflix hasn't offered them anything, and you got a Netflix special. Yeah. You're working on another one, so you're blessed beyond belief. You're doing comedy in front of hundreds of thousands of people. So you get to the opportunities that most don't, but I feel like you always trying to prove yourself. And I just never understand why, because you're funny as shit. Like, I come and support you.
Right. It's just
I'm coming this weekend.
Oh, I'm going too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't invite you.
I was going to tell you can't give me tickets.
You just going to barge in?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll know. I can tell. I hear you in the lobby. No, it's not. I'm telling you, a lot of things that I engage in, I shouldn't engage in. And that's part of me. That's part of me trying to find some growth. And that's part of me. I really do think that I probably could use or benefit from having a therapist or talk to a therapist. And it's something I had to deal with. Until then, I'll continue to be funny. But I'll tell you one thing, that anytime I have an incident, what it does to me, for my fight back, is that it makes me more creative. It makes me want to go on stage and just destroy a room. And it makes me want to produce something funny. Even the incident that you're talking about with Jeff Ross, and I made a song about it. The only way I could deal with it is to try to bring some humor in it, and really pushes me to be more creative and get in my production mode. That's what I do. That's how I fight the haters.
Why did you want to make a song?
Because I was tired of explaining what happened that day. And the song was Lost Control. I lost control that day. I lost control when I had drinks with Teddy. And I was like, that's a funny way to address it. Instead of me really expressing how I feel like, fuck them motherfuckers, I don't give a fuck about them, I said, why don't I try to make it funny and spin it? And I take control of the narrative when I do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Next question.
Now, what about your drinking? Has your drinking been an issue and a problem?
No, it's never been a problem. Why you looking me in my face like that, son?
I mean, it might have been an incident before with you drinking, and every time there's a situation, it seems like alcohol is also involved.
And when is that, usually? When do these incidents happen? Drinking hours. When does it happen?
What does drinking hours mean? That doesn't mean that it's,
you know
it's
what
not
the
a
fuck
good
it
thing.
mean. I'm saying I could see if I was coming out of church fucked up. You don't see that.
Oh, so
but if you're drunk and every time it happens when you're drunk, that might be an issue.
I don't want to say drunk. I would just say inebriated or slightly like feeling nice. And I've had some incidents and what? It happens.
Envy, what incident are you referring to?
I'm not, because I'm not going to put that man's stuff out there. He knows what I'm talking about. I just want to make sure my brother is okay and my brother's
No, it's a
good.
couple of them. What are you talking about? I don't remember that one.
See, that's the one I was talking about.
Wow,
We're not going to talk about.
I Googled Donnell Rawlings drinking.
Oh, my God.
And the second article that came up is from Yahoo Entertainment. Donnell Rawlings says he had a great time at Diddy parties. Yo.
Wait a minute.
I swear to God on everything.
Get the fuck up out of here.
Look at this. Look. Second article that came up.
What?
Donnell Rawlings drinking.
With Diddy. Or was that the time you drove up the wrong side of the street?
Oh, no. Okay.
Wait, you drove up the wrong side?
That was part of a joke. That was a part of the joke. And the joke was...
I don't know what joke that was.
No, that was part of the joke, because the picture y'all made viral. There was that picture of me on Diddy's yacht. And I said, I don't know what he put in that vodka, but it felt like I had a full head of hair on that yacht. It felt like I was a black Fabio. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. All right. Next question.
Who wrote the song? You wrote it?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was something funny. But I can't really play it because of copyright situation. But that's what I do. You got to be able to turn lemons to lemonade, and don't let stuff like keep you down or fuck you up. And I move forward. The only thing, I'll just put it like that. In any situation, if you make me mad, it's going to make me go hard on stage. And no matter what anybody wants to say about me, their thoughts of me, I'll just say I invite any of those people, any of the naysayers or any people have questions about how I'm as a stand-up, I'll say come to my show and challenge you to go one-on-one, toe-to-toe with anybody in the business. I have no problem with that.
I know another challenge was at one time your child's mother. How has that worked out? Have y'all worked everything out? Can you get Donnell a napkin? Can you just spit out his water, please? Don't worry, he's just getting that. She's just getting a napkin. I promise.
Okay, no problem. What was that?
Was that challenging? Did y'all fix that? Are y'all on the same accord now?
Fix
same
what?
page? I know that at one time you and your child's mother was not seeing eye to eye on things.
I mean, when you're not with the person that at one point you was in love with and it didn't work out like you want, I mean, people want to have a healthy relationship, but it's kind of tough because there's always emotions involved, and all it comes down to like how you feel. How do you say this? We're good, but it's going to be some trials and tribulations with that.
Do you ever look back at that and say, I was the problem? Hi, it's me, the whatchamacallit song?
I look at it all the time. I take accountability.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's easy for say when you hear situations about like co-parenting like this. It's easy. It's two sides to every story, and I do believe that part of the reason that we're not together in a living situation is because I'm pretty sure I contribute to it, but you know that was in the past, and the most important thing right now is to raise our son to be the best human we possibly can do. At the end of the day, I'll take accountability. I'm not a perfect motherfucker. I'm not any of that. Would you
change anything? Would you say, look back and say I should have did this differently, or I should have did this?
With the relationship with her?
Yes.
No, I think she should have stayed the fuck out my phone.
What did she find when she went through your phone?
Don't worry about that. I'm just saying, leave my motherfucking phone alone. That's all I'm saying. Your phone is over there. My phone is over here. You pay the bill over there. I pay the bill over here. Hey, man, in a relationship, I'm the perfect motherfucker if you mind your business instead of my phone. The devil is in the phone.
I think you do need therapy.
What did she find in the phone? And how come your phone wasn't locked?
I don't know. You
gave her your password?
You answer that question, son. They got ways of doing shit. I don't know. Motherfucker might have opened my eyeballs up one night. I don't know what the fuck.
She's a lot younger than him, so she might have just watched him into the passcode and remembered
it. Might have been that. It's God's way of saying, Donnell, you're not living correctly. And some parts of my life I wasn't living correctly, but that's Donnell. That's
Are you living
Donnell.
correctly now?
Yeah, as much as I can. Yes. I don't fucking know what's going on.
I'm just trying to have a real. You say you don't have a real conversation.
I know,
Interviews
we've been
up here,
past
so
that.
I'm not joking you. I'm just having a real conversation.
No, you be low key stressed.
What?
About the parental situation sometimes.
No, I don't be stressed about that. I don't be stressed because what I try to eliminate. I try to do. This is what I believe. When in a co-parenting situation. A lot of guys like this, well, I'm going to take care of my responsibility. And they think that their responsibility is just taking care of that kid. I don't agree with that. I think really if you want a healthy relationship for your kid and the mother, I think it's important to try to do everything to make her happy physically, mentally, and financially too. So I do all those things to try to have that relationship as healthy as possible, because if the mother of your child is mentally unstable, whatever, that could affect your kid. So I do everything in my power to make sure that she's good and she's happy.
Okay, I respect that. Ain't really nothing to talk about because we're not making jokes. I want to take this as serious as possible, Donnell. Okay. I don't want you to think that anytime you come up here, we just coming up here to shit on you or joke you or boo you or something like that. I really take you serious as a friend, and I want you to succeed, and I want you to win.
Why does this feel so fucking weird?
You know why it feels weird?
Congratulations, though.
On what?
On your
the
podcast
show?
and everything that you
you
do.
You're going to be a
Congratulations.
guest?
Of course I'd be a guest.
Let me ask you a question. What advice would you give Lauren and Jess? You've done radio for a long time.
What advice I would give them?
You've done radio with me.
I thought about this. And
you called me that day. I didn't answer the phone. I feel like your shit that day.
I know. You know what? This is how I feel. Mm-hmm. And I thought about this. Even when I came up here, Envy, I was like, we've had a lot of opportunity to be funny and everything like that. I was like, am I always going to be funny? But this is what I think. I think with Lauren and Jess, you have to allow them to be Lauren and Jess. Jess is not Lauren. Lauren's not Jess.
Right.
I think so. And we're like, I've been on the blogs and I've been listening. I hear people say, well, Jess is not a journalist, whatever. But you guys didn't hire her to be a journalist. Mm-hmm. And the thing that people don't understand is like, and I thought it was a very funny benchmark with her, with her social media. One of the funniest things that Jess did was Jess With The Mess. Mm-hmm. I love that. That showed her comedic thing, mm-hmm. and it was always a spin on news and satire.
Timely.
So, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now there's not going to be a comparison. If you look at a person that's trained to be a journalist or whatever, it's going to be an obvious difference between. Mm-hmm. But you got to let Jess be Jess and you to be you. And this is a story that I look at that really bothers me on if people taking sides of it. You have two black women that came, and no insult, whatever, from nothing.
That's not
much.
an insult. I built.
You know, from
we both
nothing.
built
They
from
they
nothing.
came from the mud.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? They positioned themselves. So we should be celebrating that and be proud of it. We shouldn't be pinning them together. And as far as, and I remember when you was on TMZ, when I first had the opportunity to actually talk to you, I appreciate like how you used to hold me down on that show. When Harvey and them used to try to go sideways, whatever, you always defended me. I remember just some years ago, maybe 7, 8 years ago, when she probably had 15 to 20,000 followers on Instagram, and she slid in my DM and asked me an honest question about comedy, like, what do I need to do? I said, I can't tell you anything to do. I said, but what you got to do is go on stage, and everything you need to know about comedy, it'll happen. And like people, this is the thing, Jess had to her all the tools to make herself successful and be self-made. And most of these motherfuckers that talk shit, and I know this is kind of hard for people in the social media side, oh, they came from social media, they came from YouTube. But even to get to the point where she is, you have to have some type of work ethics. You have to have some type of discipline. It's not like you post one video and it's going to happen. And I've seen her go the same way I saw Kevin Hart when he first started doing Twitter with 20,000 followers. He stuck to it. She stuck to her thing. So you can't hold against her the way she got on. I think it's unfair to try to pit them together. And I think that they could coexist in the same thing if both of them do their lanes and do what they're supposed to do. I'm proud of watching both of them. I consider both of them my friends.
That's what you called me to say that day?
I called you to say you didn't have to hear from me. I didn't call to talk shit because
I didn't. I was like, I don't feel like no more jokes. Me and comedians just ain't happy. It ain't going well.
No, because I know this is what people say. We all are opportunists. We all try to position ourselves to win. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna get mad at a person? I remember when you first started doing this, and you wasn't talking about I'm gonna be an on-air personality. You was talking about, oh man, we're gonna make it even tighter. Because I used to say to myself, the show is sometimes it's all over the place. But I know with your experience in producing, I was like, that's part of something that they need. I didn't know that it was going to turn into a situation where you get as much time, but you deserving of everything that you got on this show. Not even without this show, you already had a trajectory to be successful. And how can somebody be mad because a person like coming here, guess what? They like me. I'm doing a good job. I want to continue that. It wasn't no shade. I can understand Jess' feelings on that side of it, and especially when you say a situation like, okay, I suggested that this person being and there's no cattiness, whatever. I see a strong black woman that wants to do something, and if I can help her in any way, I want to do that. But I can understand coming back and feel like a situation is supposed to be another way, it don't happen. I could see the discomfort and the misunderstanding on both sides. But again, I think they can coexist. If she gets to be herself and Jess gets to be herself. Okay. That's it.
That is so positive.
I'm not a negative person. I really support, I called Jess when it happened. I called you and I called her.
She answered?
She answered the phone. And this is what I know you not really, it's not too much of a candid conversation. And I told her, I said, I can understand how you feel. And I could hear in her voice, she was upset. She didn't want to hear no jokes or whatever. I said, just most importantly thing, whatever you do, when you respond, it's so hard to not let your emotions take over. Her emotions were taking over. I said, whatever you do it in a funny way. However you respond, do it in a funny way. I said, if people are upset with you, whatever, remind them why you're here. And you're here because you're a funny person, so continue to do that. You see people that come out and they go on these media runs and they talk about everybody. So many comedians now go on these platforms, they don't even want to be funny no more.
Well, you know why, right?
What?
And I told people the other day, is they get paid for it. The outlandish stuff that they say they get paid for. Before you did an interview and you said outlandish stuff, you didn't get paid for it, right? But now if I say something crazy and it's on YouTube and it's on TikTok and it's on Instagram or X or whatever these platform it is, and I get 1 million views, I get paid off of that. And it becomes an addiction. Now I want to say more stuff that's wild.
I agree with you 100%.
But it's
like it's media whore. It's you become a media whore and you become a clickbait whore. It's so easy. And people, a lot of comedians now, they don't care about being funny anymore. They just want to be controversial. If you look at most tags and most clickbait, it's so-and-so destroys, claps back and everything. Right. Because you get excited about those clicks. You can go up there, you can try to be positive as you want, as funny as you want sometimes, but that's not going to move the dial. It's unfortunate. When I first started, we go way back, and way back in radio, where you had to be successful, you had to be likable. Now motherfuckers win by being hated because it's all about, at the end of the day, it's all about engagement. It's not about, oh, I like him, I support him, I follow him. It's just like, what's going to click? So if you get a click on something negative or positive, it's still a click, and people run with that.
And
I have a situation with a comic right now that it goes back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Anytime that, you can say his name.
You talking about Corey Holcomb?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. The reason, I'm going to tell you,
yeah, why do you and Corey Holcomb have such a
long-lasting
problem?
This is the thing with that. And I've said this on platforms. And what it is like, he has an audience that tune into him. He has a podcast where pretty much nobody on the show has an opinion. It's always going to be siding with his thoughts. And we had an incident, it's documented, not an incident that he started, but an incident I did where I got triggered at a comedy club. I yelled out at him. You know what I mean? Like, some of the things he was saying.
So you started it, or did he start it first?
Well, you could say I started that part of it, but I think the conversation was started. And I do, it's crazy because people are like, oh, you on Dave Chappelle's dick and all that type of shit. He's one of my closest friends. You know what I'm saying? He's one of my motherfucking closest friends. Like, in Yellow Springs, we live 2 miles away from each other. It's my brother. You know what I mean? We weren't just co-workers. Like, we was fucking at Charlie Murphy's funeral. You know what I'm saying? We've been at weddings. We've been visiting people in the hospital together. Like,
y'all friends
there's it's like sense of loyalty there.
Right.
And everybody wants to fucking paint this picture. Donnell is riding Dave's dick. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for Dave and all that. And that gets on my motherfucking nerve. Because I know before that show, I had a resume. After that show, I had a resume. It just so happened that I was a breakout performer on what people are calling one of the greatest shows in the history of television.
Facts.
Motherfuckers want me to repeat history. I can't do that. There's never going to be another Chappelle show. Even after the Chappelle show, you know, people's like, oh, y'all going to do it. It would have been the most foolish thing for me and Charlie to say we want to do a sketch show. And someone said something about even after when Chappelle decided that he wasn't being part of that show no more, me and Charlie Murphy hosted the lost episodes. We didn't host those episodes with the intent we're going to take this show over. They had an archive of sketches. They were trying to figure out what the fuck they was going to do with these sketches. Dave hadn't communicated to nobody. I didn't know where the motherfucker was, hadn't spoke to him. And when I look back on certain things I did in my career, it might not have been, when I look about it in retrospect, it might not have been the best decision. But in that moment, I'm like this. This is a great show right now. Nobody is going to be like this. We're the new Chappelle. And even when me and Charlie came out, and Mr. Holcomb said something about that, he said, oh, these motherfuckers hosted the show. That's why I fuck with DC Young Fly.
DC Young Fly, yeah.
Because DC Young Fly told them no. DC Young Fly told them no to continuing the show as the new host. And DC Young Fly could fucking do that because the core of Wild 'N Out was Chico Bean, Carlos. So he don't have to do Wild 'N Out because he got 85 South. He has that. Even when me and Charlie did that, we came out. First thing Charlie says, and it was a joke, oh, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I was like, speak for yourself. I need all the camera time I can get. That's the reality of it. I've had a conversation about Dave, and I apologized to Dave about it. I was like, I didn't think about it like that. I said, but one thing, Dave, had you called me, right? Yo, D, I'm not fucking with this network. I'm not fucking with them. I would have never done it. So what do? You got to make a decision on what you're going to do that's going to continue to help your joint and try to be as respectful about it as possible. After when he left, we never wrote another sketch. Me and Charlie had a pilot. It was called Charlie versus Donnell. And it was a reality show that Comedy Central passed on. It had nothing to do with sketch. It was me and him battling each other. Big Tigger was the co-host of that, whatever. We thought we had an opportunity to do that. But what Comedy Central didn't understand was that me and Charlie Murphy, if you want to say, became stars of that show. They was waiting for Dave to come back. So they didn't think that me and him could pull it off. That didn't happen. We never revisited that. I never did a sketch show. I never tried to do anything past that. And I showed him the respect for that. But I'll tell you. What pisses me off, and anybody can understand, when you put so much work into something and for people to try to assassinate your character and say you're something other than what the fuck you are. And for all of these motherfuckers, this is what I feel. I don't want to fight you on no fucking podcast. I don't want to be more controversial. If you want to fight me on anything, let's go on the fucking stage. Let's go to the stage. For all the motherfuckers that want to say he's whack, he's mild, and so, and I've put this out there, let's go on a fucking stage and let the people decide that. And I guarantee you, it ain't going to get the fucking results you want. You could tell a motherfucker that motherfucker's whack after 30 plus years performing, not just on the chitlin circuit, 5, 6 continents. And, oh, you with Dave. Guess what? I am with Dave when I do shows. I am Dave's opener. I don't open for nobody. Big dogs, Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Dave. I ain't gonna never open for, you know. So if you want to do it, stop talking your shit and let's go on the stage. And I guarantee you gonna fucking feel it.
Is there?
And I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm not just for the black audience. I'm from everywhere. And as much as motherfuckers say, oh, he's on Dave Dick, this is the best feeling I have when I tour. And I got video of it. I could show you. Nobody expects me to be on a show with Dave. He don't never promote my name. He don't need me to. He can sell out any venue in the world, 25, 30,000 people. DJ Trauma will say, you seen him on HBO's The Wire. You seen him on The Corner. You seen him on BMF. I might get some claps, but you fell in love with him as Ashley Larry on the Chappelle Show. In every fucking venue for 5 years, a whole arena goes ape shit. That only gonna last me 2 minutes on stage. But guess what? As they go ape shit, when they know I'm there, when I get off stage, guess what? They fucking stand up again because I put the work in and people know me for that. I'm not gonna apologize because I made some characters that did some shit that people remember. And it's only bitter motherfuckers that talk that shit. What have you done? And I continue. I can continue to do it. I've been on BMF. I did this. I continue to work.
Right.
Motherfuckers say, oh, you ain't made it. I'm just addressing shit I've heard on podcasts.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, oh, because I told
Is this just Corey's podcast that you're talking about?
For the most part. And then here's the thing. This is the fucked up thing about it. This is going to be fuel for him to go and say stupid shit again. But I'm not a...
But I do have to ask. You said if you started it, right? You said you started it.
No,
right?
I didn't say I started it.
You said you started from your remarks.
I'd say even that...
Because for every action is a reaction. So if he went at you first, you can't be mad if he you know...
Club,
it was... Right? You know what? God damn, it's hard for me. I'm trying to be accountable for my actions, but I got to say what triggered me. You know what I'm saying? When I just keep hearing this, and it's a closest friend of mine, when I keep hearing this, it's just interesting to me the notion that you would go to a comedy club with 150 people on a workout night and be critical of someone that's doing the numbers, someone that's fucking got all the accolades, the Grammys, the Emmys. You want to go, that's like going to a practice facility and watch a nigga practice and saying, oh, that wasn't that good. What happens at game time, motherfucker? For you to even put it out in the universe that somebody is booty or boo-boo or whatever in the practice facility, go to an arena, go to a theater, go to not just at a certain point, guess what? You ain't going to be the funniest motherfucker. I think now Dave has done it so long, so much, people don't really even look at him just to be hardy, hard. They look at him for his perspective. They're looking for his point of view, his thoughts. It's bigger than that. He's turned into that Dick Gregory shit. You know what I'm saying? Where it like, I don't want to say activist, but it's more than just the laughter.
Perspective on things. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I did took offense to that. And I said, even when that incident happened, I said, you know what? I probably broke the unwritten rule. You're not supposed to yell out at a comedian when he's on stage. For that, I'm guilty.
So he was taking a shot at Dave, and you like, Dave's my brother. I'm going to ride for my brother.
Yeah, well, pretty much.
I'm not mad at that.
But not even just my brother.
It is what it is. But, you know, why can't, well, I guess you and Corey, I mean, tried to work this out many a times. But, I feel like.
And the thing about it, Envy,
you're successful, he's successful, right? Y'all have two different audiences, two different cores. Yeah. I don't understand why it continues on.
I don't, again, that goes to like when you have a platform and you know what's going to, even with the roast battle thing,
Yeah.
the person couldn't wait to take an opportunity to say this guy's booty and he doesn't support young comics. And I said something because it was a quote from that thing was like, I think I was misunderstood or I might have misspoke when somebody said something about the Spell Show. I said I made that show. What I meant to say was I helped make that show what it was. And he took that, was like, motherfucker, you haven't even made it. And I beg to differ that. Do I got the fucking bank that Kevin Hart and these motherfuckers do or the movies or anything? But for somebody that no college education, not formally trained on anything other than the military, to be able to position myself where I could do fucking 7 figures using my God-given talent, in some areas people think that you made it. I don't answer anybody. I work for myself, and that's it.
Well, Donnell, you did make it. I don't know if you realize that. You came from
Yeah.
military to what you've done, what you've accomplished. I mean, people don't know, if you really do your history. Me and Donnell did radio together.
Yeah.
We did a morning
Really?
show together. Yeah, a long
Where?
time on Hot 97 with Miss Jones. It was me, Miss Jones, and Donnell Rawlings. And we did a morning show together. And, you know, we've seen you go from there to where you are. So you have made it. And, you know, we joke with you a lot up here. And, you know, we clown you, you clown us. But we are proud of you. And we, you know, think you're one of the funniest. I don't support many people. I don't
Right.
come out to do shows for many people. But I come out and I support you because I really do think you're funny. But
And then it's not, and I appreciate that, but it's not that. It's like I have a history of that, and like even when Mike Epps was up here, when Mike said Donnell too old to be getting booed, the translation for me was like Donnell's too funny to get booed. We came from the same place,
100%.
and I'm not saying that it has never happened, but after a while you get a certain amount of experience that you know how to handle different situations. And for anybody to hear like he got booed, the first question people would ask was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. What happened? And yes, they booed me, but it was like, it wasn't a boo like I told a joke and it was whack. It was like they was instructed by the host of the show.
But it was a lack of respect thing, and that's what I meant by you was too old for it. Because I feel like, again, to your career and watching you on those stages, like a Radio City Music Hall or whatever, I just felt like, I don't know, like Envy said earlier, like they was playing with you a little bit, and no one else where you are would do that. And for me, one of my questions for you would be, why even be in that space where something like that would even be allowed to
I'll tell you
happen?
why. I will tell you the alcohol.
The alcohol is what made you go there?
No, in that roast battle. No, what made me go to that roast battle is I was there. I was hanging with Teddy Swims, and I watched him on Adam Carolla. He has a show called Dr. Phil, where he tours and he does an impression of Dr. Phil, and he act like it's the actual Dr. Phil show. I went to support Teddy on that, and one of his buddies was on the panel to be on a roast battle, and we was hanging out. He was like, "Yo, D, you want to go up to the roast battle?" I went up there, and everybody know in the business that I don't go to the roast stuff because I could be sensitive, I could be upset, and it was one thing led to another. It just was a awkward situation, and then got out of hand. But at the same time, I didn't feel good about it. But one thing, what I said to those comics, if you look at it, it was true. And I even told them at the end of it, I said, I hope you are so mad at me that it makes you want to step your game up just to say, fuck him, I know I can do it. It wasn't, no, I've supported so many young comics, I've gave opportunities, anybody, and even to you, and like certain people I come around, if I feel that they like have funny energy, I don't think everybody can be funny, but I'll say, you know what, you should try it. I told her, I think you have the personality to do it. She's not
I
going to do
am
it.
not
She's
getting
like,
on stage. He been trying to, it's not ever happening.
No, it might not happen, but you know, I was been 100% supportive. Even I told her, I said, "You coming to my show?" She didn't show up
No,
because she thought I might put on stage. But to that, and then I know this interview when people come to see me, they watch, they like, "Oh God, he's going to cut up, whatever." But it's something to be said about letting somebody air it out and their gripes and their grievances. And to that, I say, "Fuck them."
all right, well, you're going to be at the City Winery in New York, March 28th, March 29th.
Damn, that's a hell of a way to end an interview.
Indianapolis,
Fuck 'em.
Indiana, April 4th and 5th, Tennessee, Buffalo, and Florida. So next hour, you want to stay a little bit? Charlamagne's not here. We have Ryan Davis next hour. Would you like to sit there and do some of these questions with us, especially coming from a comedian?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Show him your socks. It's a good.
Got yellow socks
It's
on.
a pop. It's called a pop.
Let's call it pop.
Yeah,
It's
I
okay.
can do that. I
Do
will
it
say.
one more time. Wait, you did that real fast. You hold on, slow down. You know, you too old to be moving that fast too.
Why you like to use that word
My
too
bad.
old?
Shoot, I'm sorry.
God damn, interrupter.
Sorry.
They call me the interrupter.
All right.
That's the interrupter.
Well, it's
but
done.
I will say more importantly,
joking.
and I came up here. I did want to talk about my performance at the City Winery. But again, Memorial Day weekend, This is going into the 5th year. It's something that I started, like when we were doing the outdoor shows with Dave, he would focus on the comedy, and I was focused on the camp atmosphere, having the fun. Something that I created 5 years ago. It's dope. Go to DonnellRawlings.com and get more information about Donnell Land. I'm going to try to make this the Black Disneyland for people.
Okay. And hopefully I could come out there with my kids one time.
They will love it.
All right. Well, there you have it. It's Donnell Rawlings. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.